Do I just talk or should I?
Just talk.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
Okay. Good afternoon. Can everyone hear me? Yes. Great. I speak at a lot of, I'm a Rotarian in Durham. I also speak at a lot of Rotary events across the state. And I'm being sincere when I say this. This is one of the most community-focused Rotary groups I've been in. A lot of them are networking, and that's wonderful, but this is really quite impressive, all the ways that you're involved in the community. So I just wanted to thank you. I also feel like I have such supporters in here. Carl has volunteered. Ryan and Squatties have donated to our mission, and so thank you all for having me. My name is Michelle. I started the Diaper Bank in 2013 from my kitchen table in Durham. My goal was to provide 50,000 diapers in Durham alone. We have since distributed over 36 million diapers statewide. We serve 80 counties. We have 4 warehouses, and I drive a forklift. My life is complete. When I first started the Diaper Bank, it really wasn't a thing. People didn't know what a diaper bank was. There were maybe a handful in the country. It just was not something that people did or understood. And my very first year, we had a theft. And over 13,000 diapers were stolen from this little church that we were in. And I wrote an article in the newspaper just to get awareness about all these diapers that were stolen. And it actually went viral because 1, what is a diaper bank? And 2, who steals from a diaper bank? And so we were in 64 news stations across the country. We were in the Today Show and Huffington Post. We were in New Zealand news, and the headline read, "Napsters Fleece Nappy Bank," which was a really cool title. And what was amazing about that experience was 130,000 diapers were donated to us from around the world in 1 week.
Wow.
The challenge with that was the business address was my home address. I'm not exaggerating. All of the diapers were delivered to my home. They had to designate 5 UPS trucks to come multiple times a day. They blocked my doors. They blocked my porch. I had to get trucks to get into my house. On the 3rd day, I pull up. The UPS guys are there unloading. They're like, "How many children do you have?" The reason why we have a diaper bank is 1 in 2 families experience diaper need. There's no assistance for diapers. WIC and food stamps do not cover them, and they cost over $100 a month. So families are literally making choices between buying food or buying diapers, and every single time they will choose to feed their children and try to make those diapers last as long as they can. So we see babies left in 1 diaper a day, families rinsing out and reusing diapers, and parents making really tough decisions about basic needs that they shouldn't have to make. We distribute all of our products through trusted organizations where families are already getting services. The reason why we have that model is we know that if someone is struggling for diapers, they're struggling with other needs. So we want them connected to programs that can help them in multiple ways. Handing someone diapers is helpful, but if they get diapers and case management and car seats and cribs and help with food, that's where you're helping families thrive. So all of our work is done through organizations all across the state that families are already accessing services with. We're the largest diaper bank in the country. We're also the only diaper bank to publish research on diaper need for the country. And the reason why is when I first started the diaper bank, there was no research, except 1 study that was done by Huggies, which is actually a very good study. But I would have funders say, well, of course Huggies is going to say people need diapers. They make diapers. And so we had to come up with some really great PhD research so that now diaper banks across the country use our research to talk about their work and the need. We've published 4 papers, but I'm going to talk about 2 of them. One is, what are the outcomes for our families when we give them something as simple as a diaper? They're able to go to work. You cannot go to work without a day's worth of disposable diapers to take to childcare. They're able to buy medicine and food and pay a bill. So very tangible outcomes happen when we give out something as simple as a diaper. Then we publish a paper on what are the outcomes for our community partners when they give out our products. We're showing an 83% increase in home visits because social workers are bringing diapers in hand. It's exactly what you want to see. We're also showing child protective service programs that are using diapers as a gateway of building relationships so that they're seen as a helper instead of that immediate threat that comes to the door. We give to clinics across the state that call up families and say, hey, your child's up for vaccines or a well visit, and we have diapers, do you want to stop by? And they're seeing those well visits increase. We also show that many times community partners that are working with families will lose track of families because the families are displaced or they lose their phone. But now, since they give out diapers, families will call them up and say, hey, I lost my phone, but I need diapers this month, and this is how to get in touch with me. So we know that something as simple as a diaper not only has a huge impact for families, but also our community partners that give out our programs. 100% of the time, when a community partner takes on diapers to distribute through the diaper bank, they grow their work. 100% without a doubt. And so there's an amazing correlation between diapers and the work that our community partners are doing. The other thing I'll share about research, this is the last thing, and I can go on and on. I'm a lot of fun at parties because I talk about tampons and male incontinence. Like, people flock to me at a party, right? But the other thing about our research is that we looked at who receives our services. And we found that 78% of the families that receive our services are working 1 to 3 jobs and still cannot afford basic hygiene items. This is incredibly important and something that we feel is our responsibility to share because there's a misconception about poverty in our community. It's assumed it's someone that doesn't work hard enough, doesn't care enough, or isn't motivated enough, which is exactly the opposite of what we see. We see families that care deeply for their children, that work extremely hard, and still cannot afford the most basic items. I was at, and I'm not just saying this as part of what I'm talking about, I was at Costco last weekend, and a woman was there giving out samples, and my husband had a Diaper Bank of North Carolina hat on, and she said, and she's working. She had been working at Costco for years, and she said, I get diapers from the diaper bank for my children because I just can't afford them. And she works at a place that sells diapers. And I didn't tell her who I was, but we had a really wonderful conversation about how impactful it is to be able to get that, which allows her to buy other things and pay for bills. We also know that we hear from teachers that are teaching our children during the day and go home at night and cannot afford diapers for their own children. We hear from hundreds and hundreds of military families in North Carolina that cannot afford diapers every month. We go to all of the military bases and serve over 800 families a month with something simple as a diaper. We did a research study that found that 9 out of 10 military families, E6 or below, cannot afford diapers every month. They worry about providing this basic hygiene item. This research that we just did was just this week introduced in a bill on the federal level to try to get diapers for military families. We don't know if it'll pass, but that is the type of work and education that we're trying to do around this need that so many families struggle with, working families, military families. I'm going to shift gears because we have other programs. We also have period products that we distribute, and that started out as a Helping Moms Helps Babies program. We felt that. Period products, menstrual products, yes. It's okay. It's okay.
I've got 3 daughters.
Yes, so you get it. Just wait till I talk about adult incontinence. So, so we felt that if mothers couldn't afford diapers, they couldn't afford to take care of themselves. And in North Carolina, there's actually a luxury tax on period products. It's considered a luxury item. Women pay more to have their period. They pay an extra tax on that. I know I wear my pearls during that time. It's a very fancy time for me. But the state makes $8 million off of period product tax that they're doing for luxury items. And so we started that program, and then we started to hear from middle and high school teachers telling us about students missing school because they could not afford period products. We felt that that was unacceptable, that period supplies are school supplies, and no one should have to choose between going to class and having their period. Yet 1 in 4 students make that choice every single month. So we now provide period products in over 800 schools in North Carolina. We do distribute them for this area, but a lot of schools still don't know we're here. So if you have a connection or a school and you want them to get period products from us, let us know. We would love to make that happen. We also give underwear, leggings, and shorts because if a student has an accident, they have nothing to change into. And our goal is to keep students in class so they don't lose a few days every month out of their education. And then lastly, we do adult incontinence supplies. Well, we also have another program. I'll just talk about that. And when you're a senior and you're on a fixed income, you cannot afford well over $100 a month for adult incontinence supplies. And unlike parents who are willing to swallow their pride and ask for something for their child, many seniors are not willing to disclose that they struggle in this need. And we serve many veterans that really struggle to afford this most essential item. And so our work really is about distributing dignity, making sure that families have access to this most basic need that's not covered by WIC and food stamps. They cannot use those items to cover them, and that they simply just go without many times. I'm going to pause there because I can go on, and to see if you have any questions about our work, and then I can talk more. Yeah.
How much does a package of diapers cost if you go to the store?
They're between $40 and $60 for a month's supply of diapers. They can cost over $100 a month. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. $40 or $60 can buy not enough to make that for a month, and so they have to at least have more than that.
Well, you got it. You got it.
Yeah, sorry. We also did a study. I'm talking about studies, but we're kind of grounded in our research. And what we did is we went to food deserts in communities where the only access to a store was that little corner store that families go to, the little gas station, the little corner store. And we priced out hygiene items and found that they were not only expensive, they were outrageously expensive. They were breaking them up 3 at a time, charging $1.50 per diaper. This was the only access point that families had for diapers if they did not have transportation or if they lived in these food desert areas. So diapers, especially for low-income families, are extremely expensive, up to $100 a month. It's a great question.
I actually have a connection I met last year, and I just emailed her about you. So she was trying to provide feminine products in the local high school bathroom. So I want to put her in touch with you.
Please,
Yeah, she's
we would
a
love
teacher.
it. It makes me happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about that idea of putting the tampon thing in the men's room that they had planned over in Minnesota?
What about it?
Just out of curiosity, did that ever take place?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
What did he need that for? Huh? What did he need that for? Didn't you hear that they?
But if the daughter is maybe embarrassed and maybe your dad figured. But I did have a question as far as Safe Child and Boys and Girls Club. Are you already partnering with them as distribution points or backpack buddies?
Do you mean like, we do sometimes, it just depends on the county and who's gotten in touch with us.
Yeah.
Our goal is actually to get them in every bathroom.
Yeah.
That is our goal, but yes, I know what you're talking about, yeah.
I can help with distribution because I'm on the board for Junior League of Raleigh and I'll be installed in a couple months. So
We would
networking together with me. So
We would love to talk, and I want to talk to you anyway. I didn't realize until after we introduced who you were. I saw your thing, so I want to talk to you. Thank you for your support.
Maybe I can help you guys with
Yeah.
distribution. I want to.
Any other questions about our work? Well, a couple more things I'm going to share with you. We are, since we're the largest diaper bank, the only diaper bank to distribute products en masse, we do work with the governor's office during disasters. We're considered part of the disaster response team. So anytime a disaster comes, it could be Hurricane Helene, which we still are serving, or it could be furloughed workers. We consider that a disaster. And so we're on the front lines. We're considered life-sustaining, life-supporting, essential. So we go in when the Red Cross goes in. During Hurricane Helene, we pushed out 4 million products that very first month. We have since distributed over 7 million products into that region, and we go 2 to 3 times a month to make sure that families have what they need. There are still hundreds of families in FEMA trailers with no homes in Western North Carolina. Disaster recovery is long-term, and so we'll be in that region indefinitely. And a little tidbit that's not in the news is all that FEMA support for those families is ending in a couple months. And so all those trailers are going to be removed, and all those families are going to be homeless. So it's pretty tragic what's happening in Western North Carolina. Any questions? Burning questions about diapers or diaper bank?
Do you see a soaring need for adult incontinence?
We've seen a 2,000% increase since the onset of COVID that has not slowed down. In January alone, we have seen 198% increase of requests just of all of our products. That's because everything is just more expensive. Things just cost a lot of money, and families are stretching those dollars. And when WIC and food stamps do not cover these items, there's nothing that they can do to purchase them. So many times they just go without, or they get a couple when they have some dollars. Yeah.
Who makes the best diapers for the money?
Yeah, no, so what we do, yeah.
Do that to her.
Yeah, I won't answer that, but I will tell you, typically stores and companies do not donate diapers because they don't expire. there's no incentive to get them out of their stores or out of their warehouses. But we have built relationships with manufacturers. There's one here in North Carolina that makes your off-brand, like Target, Walmart, Walgreens, all your off-brand. And they have embraced our mission statement. One of their CFOs on our board. And we are able to buy diapers much cheaper than you can buy online or in a store. We can get them down to like 10 to 15 cents a diaper. In the store, it's 30, 40, 60 cents a diaper. And so we're able to stretch those dollars to go much further, because when we buy diapers, it's by the pallet and truckload, hence the forklift driving. And then they'll also throw in extras. So if we buy, they're like, and we have these extras for you. And they give us what they call seconds. Seconds are a perfectly fine diaper, but they have an error. So we got a bunch of newborns that had a 2 printed on them. I do encourage them to make lots of mistakes, but they don't always listen to me. But that's a way that we keep up our inventory. But just so you know, for every dollar you donate to the diaper bank, 89 cents is going back to serve families, which is actually pretty unheard of for a nonprofit to have that kind of output in the community. So we're very proud of that. Yes.
You know, it occurs to me that going back to the old-fashioned way of cloth diapers
So glad you brought that up.
would really solve the problem for those who are, you know, they've run out and
Yep.
they can't
I was
get.
gonna ask that too.
But you need laundry detergent.
I was good.
Yeah, what's
Yeah,
exactly-
I'd be happy to answer. Yep. So you guys are so great. I'm glad you asked, and I heard some great answers. So we do have a cloth diaper program for those families that can overcome some obstacles. There is a lot of privilege to cloth diapering that used to not be the case. You're talking about families working 2 to 3 jobs. And you cannot take cloth diapers to a daycare center. You still have to have a day's worth of disposable diapers. WIC and food stamps do not cover cleaning supplies, so you still have to be able to afford the extra cleaning supplies to wash the diapers. You cannot wash them in a laundromat, and so you either are washing them in a bucket or a pail, or you have to have a washing machine. And back in the day, usually it was a stay-home parent that did it.
Diaper service.
Yeah, or in a diaper service, there's no
We
diaper.
tried that with my daughter for 1 week, all right? Yeah, we took a diaper service, clothes diaper, it lasted exactly 1 week.
Yes.
And that was the end of
Yeah.
that.
And there's no diaper services anymore, no childcare centers that'll bring them. Most families do not have a stay-home parent there. There's a lot of privilege, but for those that can overcome it, it's usually military families, because when military families are brought into different states and bases, you have probably a parent that stays at home because they can't get a job. There's nothing they can't afford daycare, so they can't get a job. So usually they're a stay-home parent while their spouse is deployed, and then usually we give cloth diapers to them. So for those, out of the 36 million disposable diapers I have given out, I've given 50 cloth diaper kits. Well, yes, but the need is where we're giving them. Yeah.
What is
They
your
make
greatest
excellent, polishing cloths. I did it for about 1 week as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What is your greatest need?
Our greatest need right now, I would say, is, I'm a founder. And so for years, I had my head down thinking, how are we going to get that next diaper? Where are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? And I had very little chance to look up and around me to say, who knows about us? Amplifying our work in a very intentional way, and then looking at ways that we can do better in each community that we serve. And so right now, we want to be part of conversations. If your community is having a conversation about poverty, we would love to be part of that conversation. We're going to be the only one talking about hygiene items. What table should we be sitting at? You becoming our ambassador, like leaving here and saying, I heard about the diaper bank, and I want to get my church to come and volunteer. Or my work. We do mobile wrapping events, so we can bring on-site products. It is for a small fee, but you can wrap on site. Just spreading the word about the work that we're doing would be incredibly impactful for us right now.
So when you go to the diaper for the packing event, what is it that you're packing?
Yep. So we get when our donations come in, we buy them by the pallets and boxes. We also get donations of sauce packs, big boxes, everything. We repackage everything. So we work with 800 volunteers a month that come in, repackage all of our products so that we can get them out in the community. And it does a couple things. It allows us, for every family, it doesn't matter in the front of the line or the back of the line, they get exactly the same amount So one person does get a box of 150 and another person gets a pack of 28, right? It allows for equity and equality. It makes sure that everyone gets exactly the same thing. It allows our community partners to know how to store them. Many programs do not have a lot of storage, so also social workers carrying them in their cars, they know how to do that. Families are riding buses to come and pick up diapers, and so they know I'm gonna have these packs of diapers I can put in my stroller and with my child on the bus to come and get diapers. So it just helps with, and then inventory for us, because we're dealing with, the United States government requires that we track every single item, every wipe we get, tampon, liner, and if we have them in set amount packs, it's easier for us because we're dealing with millions and millions of products. So we repackage for a lot of reasons.
I can speak a little bit more to that. I volunteered last year when I brought up the diapers, and it was really impressive. Facility was impressive.
Thank you.
Everything was barcoded. Everything was, set in different areas. Bigger facility than I thought it would even be close to being. And as I said, probably 30 volunteers or so, all just packaging up diapers. My role was to not package the diapers because they looked to me and said, "You're not quick enough for that. You can wrap them." So it would take it's an 8x8 or whatever it is. I'm probably making it up. And then it would, 8x8 be put there, and then I would wrap it up in the special stuff, put it over here. So we would put a barcode or some type of label on it. It would go into a box. The box would go in the back room, and then I walked out, and the back room was just packed. Really cool. So I'd love to see more of us this year go there, spend the day.
It really makes a difference. And the diapers you wrap, they don't stay in our warehouse long. They go out within a week or two out in the community. And people love it. We have a play area for small kids, so all ages are welcome, all abilities are welcome. We would love to have you. I know it's a little bit of a hike, but I think it's worth it. And we serve this region from that warehouse, so thank you for your time today.
Thank you very much. Carl is our community service person, so Carl, whenever you're ready to, we can do a collection again soon. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And we'd like to be able to go. I'd like to go next time. Yeah. So let's see here. We have time. So I'm going to invite Mariah to come up here and give us a few minutes about what she does. She's get to know your Rotarian day.
Thanks. I don't know if this internet connection is going to work, so I'm just going to speak off the cuff since we're short on time. But if it happens, it happens. You might see it. Who knows? All right. Do I need the little microphone thing? Yeah. Right behind you. Oh, thanks. Okay. Skeleton crew here. Oh, it says unknown. Probably won't show up. Anyway, I have a little thing. I need my readers. Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm just going to have this to help guide me. So the last time I was in front of you, the one thing I wanted you to remember was my name. I was a new member. So everybody, what's my name? Mariah. Thank you. They call the wind or Mariah Carey, right? Today, I want you to remember what I do, and more importantly, how it may help someone you know. I work with small business owners and real estate investors to help them understand how to use business funding strategically instead of draining their personal savings. So kind of, Michelle, what you're speaking with kind of speaks near and dear to my heart. I've been to a lot of women real estate investor groups, thousands of women, some of them spending the only $20,000 on that credit card to go and start something new and be an entrepreneur for their family, and then they're struggling. So my mission is to help educate people the value of a dollar, and then how I don't care what socioeconomic level you are smart enough to understand how to make your dollar stretch. And so I want to be a part of that education. So that's my focus. I help most entrepreneurs start business not using their own cash. They max out on personal credit cards, they're in debt to their eyeballs, and they're not able to feed their families. So I want to change that. So I offer some credit repair type of assistance, but also 0% business credit cards, help them create their EINs, LLCs. I'm in various groups of real estate investors and small business owners. And recently, I've discovered that I'm finding a lot of people like myself who wants to do, I call it shiny object syndrome. Have anybody heard of that? Oh, you're like a little squirrel, you got nuts everywhere? I've been that in the last 3 years. So I've now found people like me, and I've been able to say, hey, grab 30 minutes with me, I'll talk to you and listen to you, what you've been trying to focus on, why are you not making even $1 on what you're trying to do, and I'll streamline it and make you profitable at least in 90 days. Let's work together. And I'm getting a lot of results with that, so I'm super excited about that. I'm also the president of the Women in Networking chapter. There's 27 of us around the area. It's like a B&I group for ladies. We meet in Fuquay Arena at the Lucci Blues. We were coming here for a little bit, but the ladies like the ambiance of Lucci Blues, so we went there. And I joined the Chamber of Commerce as well. So that's my mission, is to help the small businesses. The businesses here are influx. I don't know if you guys realize that. The Chamber of Commerce is the fastest growing, I think, in the area. Does anybody want to discredit me on that one? I think Dustin's been saying that, so it's been super mad crazy. So it's a perfect opportunity. So, and a big reason why I joined this group is that you guys are all about service, and that's what I'm all about. My whole family is like that, and I guess it just happens with me. My father was a Mass State Trooper for 24 years in Massachusetts, and my mother gave back to our church and our school, so it's just in my blood. So I've been super thankful to be part of Storyworks, being part of the diaper exchange as well, and donating with that. And so I just want to grow my role with here in this group and see what else more volunteer work I can do. I guess the other thing is, I moved here 2 years ago from Massachusetts. My husband is a 24-year veteran of the Army. He was a chief warrant officer, and he has a civilian job, but right now he's medically 100% disabled and has a service dog. And I'd like him to come in here and talk to you about life as an Army veteran with a service dog. I want him to be on a mission to share with the local businesses here their rights as well as the disabled rights, because small business owners sometimes get taken advantage of from people with ESA animals, which are different than service animals. So we have a mission here as a couple in this town, and I'm really happy to be here. So that's it about me.
What brought you here to Euclid?
The weather. The day we left Massachusetts,
I guess
15 inches of snow on the ground. And we were like that movie, Funny Farm with Chevy Chase. We were in our house empty, waiting for the movers to show up, because they had to stop in New Jersey in the way station. They had too much stuff, and they had to like get a new truck, and we're just sitting there waiting. I'm like, 15 inches of snow, oh my God. So all my friends have like, what, 2 or 3 feet of snow right now? And people are like, do you miss it? No, I don't miss it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we have a couple extra minutes to go here. Anybody want to contribute anything? How's everything going with you, young man? We haven't seen you in a while. How's everything going?
Everybody's happy.
How's Massengill doing, the building?
Fortunate business continues to boom. You know, everybody wants to live in the county, in the triangle, and especially Peak Wave Arena, so it's a good area to get market to be in. So.
How's everything at the bank?